Hill Street Blues, weeknights at midnight only on WSVN 7.
1991, From the Best to the Worst, brought to you in part by the world's premier movie attraction, Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, the only place on earth where you can ride the movies, and by Honda, makers of fine quality automobiles. Test drive a Honda at your local dealership today.
The following special presentation from South Florida's news station is brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers and by Universal Studios.
(1991), a year that changed the world, from the Persian Gulf War to the fall of communism. And along with the year's big events, the headlines were filled with wild sex scandals and bizarre, unbelievable stories. Get ready for a roller coaster ride through time. You might want to set your VCR. This is your chance to record an incredible year in history. 1991, from the best to the worst. We'll be right back.
Universal Studios is delivering the greatest one-two punch in entertainment history. January 1st through February 9th. Just $23 for adults, $18 for kids. Puts the death-defying stunts of the all-action Wild West stunt show right in your face. Then takes you on the most incredible ride in the universe as you smash through the time barrier and rocket back to the future. So get in on Florida's hottest attractions at hot Florida resident prices, but hurry, because February 9th, time's up. Face out!
You're still the one that makes me laugh. Still the one that's my better half. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. You're still the one that makes me strong. Still the one I want to take.
Visit your South Florida Honda dealer, where you can lease a new 1992 Honda Accord LX for just $199 a month. It's like getting a new lease on love.
We've got 10 better reasons.
There's lots of good reasons to choose Tire Kingdom. Nobody beats Tire Kingdom. Not clubs, other dealers, nobody. We beat everybody's best price by at least 10%. We carry the best selection of tires in stock anywhere and the fastest, most professional service in town. We have the latest high-tech equipment and the people who know how to use it. So for all the right reasons, come to Tire Kingdom. We'll both be glad you did.
On the next Inside Edition, they survived Vietnam, but in the jungles of Hawaii, vets are still living the horrors of war.
Get to where you don't trust human beings at all.
Haunted by images from their past, they live in the hills like animals.
These men, in many cases, are still living a war.
Is there no escape from their pain? Inside the unknown soldiers of Hawaii. On the inside, it's a whole different story. Tomorrow at 7 on WSVN 7.
Just 17 days into 1991, and we were at war. And that's a day I'll never forget. I was here at the station doing the 6:30 newscast when the word came down. And I was scared. I guess I felt like a lot of people, that war was such a last resort that it wouldn't happen. But it did. And from the moment the first shots were fired until that day our troops came home, we were there every step of the way.
5 months ago, Saddam Hussein started this cruel war against Kuwait. Tonight, the battle has been joined.
I really don't know what to expect when I get out there. I mean, anything could happen.
It hurts, but we love him. You know, we have to keep rooting for our country and our boys. Pray they come home soon.
It scares me because, you know, he's a kid and he's going to make mistakes.
Let's go, baby! Yeah! Ready for the border! We're going to walk through the country and liberate Kuwait.
Contact.
We are observing some Iraqis at target position 1 at this time.
Tonight, as our forces fight, they and their families are in our prayers.
Everybody okay?
You ever been in a minefield?
No.
There were a lot of booby traps, a lot of barbed wire. It's not a fun place to be.
It was a scary feeling, and I just stopped shaking a few minutes ago.
At this moment, those of us here at home are thinking of them and of the future of our world. I am convinced that we are doing the right thing.
Fight them, Iraqis. Oh, Iraqis, fight them. With all the power you have.
Sometimes, you know, you want to sit there and you want to look at Hussein and say, can't you understand? These are children. These are children.
My son's life wasn't in vain.
I thought everything was going to be okay, and everybody's talking about everybody coming home and their sons and daughters and wives and husbands, and mine's coming home in a body bag, and it's just not fair.
This is the sand from the liberated beaches of Kuwait. Right now, I feel sorry for the people that are remaining on the enemy side because we're going to wipe them out just a matter of time.
When they were coming at us, droves of 50-plus people with one big white flag. 50 there, 50 over there, coming to surrender. I mean, that was like, wow. You couldn't believe it. These people don't want to fight. And that made me feel good to realize, hey, these people don't want to fight, and I won't have to do any killing.
This war is now behind us.
He's trying to talk.
He's healthy, my family's looking good, and I'm just glad to be back.
I'm just happy and relieved that it's finally over. We can start our lives again.
I think after I get some real good live American food in me, maybe a beer or two, then I'll be convinced that I'm home.
A lot of us were wondering whether or not we'd ever see home again.
Every one of them's a hero.
That's all I've wanted for the last 7 months, and now we got it.
Hopefully, 92 will be a year of peace. So who had the best excuse this year? We'll tell you when we come back, and also what's hot and what was not.
Flash back to the 50s on opening day at Gulfstream Park, Wednesday, January 8th. There'll be free grandstand admission and instant cash for everyone, plus food and fun for the entire family. Receive a free ticket that could be worth as much as $5,000 instantly. Every ticket issued is guaranteed to be a winner. Pay tribute to the 1957 Florida Derby, one of the greatest thoroughbred races of all times. Bring your family and enjoy a full day of entertainment and food that will definitely send you reminiscing down memory lane. Visit Gulfstream Park on opening day. You won't want to miss this 50s celebration.
They're hip. They're way cool. They think they're so grown up, but they're not big enough.
Mommy?
For an adult dose of cold medicine. Introducing new Pediacare for ages 6 to 12. Chewable tablets just the right strength for an older child's cold. New Pediacare chewables for ages 6 to 12. When they're big enough for more medicine, but they're still a kid. New Pediacare chewables.
Francis Coppola's powerful saga of a passionate era where deals were made.
There's plenty of money in Harlem for everybody.
Dreams were born.
The Dutchman wants to put you to work.
And the legends of jazz lit up the night. Richard Gere, Diane Lane, Gregory Hines, and Bob Hoskins star in the critically acclaimed epic, The Cotton Club.
The Cotton Club, Wednesday on the WSVN 7 movie at 8.
Nobody lit up a bar like Jack.
He had a million jokes.
What a riot.
Yeah.
I knew he was too drunk to drive. How could I spoil his fun?
Take the keys, call a cab, take a stand. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Gossip, celebrities, fads. The lighter side of the news that almost everyone enjoys, whether they admit it or not. Hey, I admit it, I love this stuff. They might not be the lead stories every night, but I bet they're the ones you talked about at the dinner table.
What was hot? (90210), the hottest zip code to ever hit the tube.
Hi, paper or plastic? Plastic.
Macaulay Culkin must have just seen his first paycheck.
That's me in the corner.
REM. Antiques.
C&C, the hottest letters in rock this year.
Finally, we kissed. Then he asked if I enjoyed safer sex. I've never felt so good about saying yes.
It was a good year for rubber. Innerwear as outerwear. Baking on the beach is out, but a shot of sun is the cool way to tan.
The three of us, driving cattle.
What, like in a truck? No, it's a real old-fashioned cattle drive.
Guys with other guys, just being guys, hot, but we're not sure why. Tubular Man. A classic rekindled. What was not? The bubble bursts on breast implants. Some doctors find Prozac a hard pill to swallow. Bungee jumping takes a plunge after a fatal fall. Oh! From a wartime high to a recession low, Bush falls from favor in the polls. And is Bruce Willis moonlighting again since Hudson Hawk was the year's box office bomb? This year's biggest tattletales? Geraldo's Tales from Bed had Beck seeing red.
If I had known he was going to be so, he was going to, 20 years later, he was going to wind up a slimy talk show host, I never would have even let him in the room.
People are so surprised to see that the Reagans really aren't their 8x10 glossies.
Kitty Kelly got catty about Nancy Reagan's favorite crooner.
You know, I know it's a hatchet job, but there is some sort of appeal.
It's a shame that these things had to take place in her household.
LaToya turned on her family with some vicious venom. And Zsa Zsa should have been slapped for telling us more than we ever wanted to know about her love life. This year's fairy tales. Worst manners. It's up for grabs between Michael and Madonna. And grabbing the Queen ruffled royal feathers.
I think, to be honest, the English side of me was somewhat horrified and embarrassed. The American side of me thought it was quite fun.
Best excuse.
Not. A woman treated nymphomania by selling her body? Isn't that like treating a weight problem with an all-you-can-eat restaurant?
And the year's grand illusion, former Grand Dragon turned politician, David Duke. This year's big comebacks. Get on your feet. Stand up and take some action. Yeah. Gloria's back on her feet after last year's bus accident.
Physically, emotionally, I really feel ready to come back, and I'm just very happy that it's reached this moment, because I didn't know if this would ever come.
I feel better than I look. Don't worry, it's okay.
The old man of tennis showed the world he wasn't over the hill yet.
I'm going to be the next heavyweight champion of the world. Nobody can stop me.
Boxing great George Foreman still packing a powerful punch.
That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch.
Just when you were hoping the Brady Bunch had finally left home, they're back together, this time on stage.
The parents were perfect and nobody fought, and everybody was happy, and the problems that the family faced were always resolved in 22 minutes.
It's a long way back from the Partridge Family, but David Cassidy is on his way. And the king of soul is out of the slammer and feeling good.
I feel good.
Still to come, the year's biggest bombshell. And up next, the event that literally changed the world.
You know the kind of performance Acura gives you. You know the kind of luxury Acura gives you. But right now, you may not know the kind of savings Acura gives you. For a limited time, you could lease an Acura Integra for $199, an Acura Vigor for $299, or an Acura Legend for $399. But when this month is over, this deal will be too.
If you think the 1992 movies on WSVN sound good, wait till you see them.
On the next Matlock, the long arm of the law is broken.
They took my badge and my gun.
When a crook is killed and a cop is blamed.
I didn't do it.
Now Ben defends a defender of the peace.
Joe Peters is going to be convicted of a murder he didn't commit.
And tries to mend a miscarriage of justice.
However it turns out, just get it over with.
There's nowhere to hide.
This subpoena guarantees you the best seat in the house.
On Matlock.
Tomorrow at 4 on WSVN 7.
The tragedy of child abuse takes many forms, from verbal assaults to hurtful blows. But it is preventable, and we all have a role to play. If you know of a parent having difficulty, reach out, sit down and talk. And if you're having difficulty, get help for yourself. Talk to a friend. Sign up for a parenting class. Take time out. Don't take it out on your child.
Contact the National Committee for Prevention of Child Abuse.
The next part of the show is special for me. My family, I, came to this country from Cuba because of communism. Well, in 1991, communism was all but wiped off the face of the earth. Think about it. In the Soviet Union, a system that took decades to build came tumbling down in just a matter of days. In the Soviet Union, democracy is born. On the other side of the world, in Haiti, it dies a quick death. For the first time ever, democratic elections in Haiti.
It's a free country now because we have somebody from the people. This guy is the son of the people.
The good news, Aristide, a freely elected president. The bad news, a coup soon pushes him from power. Exiles in Miami take their anger to the streets.
Without Aristide, no life.
The police have already lined up. This is the field force you see behind me. They're getting ready to move in.
We want democracy in the country. We want to be free just like everybody else.
A shot at peace. The Mideast peace talks, an ongoing war of words. Biggest surprise of 1991, having the hostages home for the holidays.
I'm home. I'm home.
We've been under shell fire constantly, and to be under shell fire when you're chained to the wall is not pleasant.
I'm very, very happy. Excuse me, I'm joking.
And when we come back, the announcement that shocked the world.
You're still the one that makes me laugh. Still the one that's my better half. We're still having fun, and you're still the one. You're still the one that makes me strong. Still the one I want to take.
Visit your South Florida Honda dealer, where you can lease a new 1992 Honda Accord LX for just $199 a month. It's like getting a new lease on love.
Uninhibited.
Witty. She's so cute. Running. You love her.
And you'll just love Joan's next show.
Barry Manilow is back again for an incredible show.
And this time, the superstar is saluting the music of Broadway with a very special tribute to his favorite songwriters. So grab a front row seat and check out the fun. Next, Joan Rivers.
The Joan Rivers Show, tomorrow at 10 on WSVN 7.
Happy New Year, everybody. I'm Regis Philbin.
And I'm Kathy Lee Gifford.
On the next live, we'll talk with Doogie Howser star Max Casella.
He bought a new car. I read about it in USA Today.
A different kind of car than one would expect a young, hip, sex symbol TV star to buy.
Say that again. Plus a terrific singer, Aaron Neville, performs for us.
Everybody plays the fool.
All of that on live.
Happy New Year.
Live, Regis and Kathy Lee, tomorrow at 9 on WSVN 7.
Items no longer needed by you can mean so much to others. Help rebuild lives. Call the Salvation Army today.
There are a lot of stories that you just can't forget about at the end of the day. You try and understand why and how it could have happened.
Joan, that was the case with the Magic Johnson story. A lot of people suddenly realized that if Magic Johnson could get the AIDS virus, so could they. It was this year's biggest bombshell.
Because of the HIV virus that I have attained, I will have to retire from the Lakers today.
Whoa! How about Magic Johnson?
I just want to say that I'm going to miss playing, and I will now become a spokesman for the HIV virus.
I thought it was a cruel joke at first, but we came down here just to let him know that we love him.
I feel very bad for him because he's been playing for such a long time and now he has to retire just because of that disease.
I think that has a very big effect on, my life plan and everything.
I'll be praying for the man. I really enjoyed him.
And my heart goes out to him, and I wish him the best.
I don't even know him personally, but if he hears this or sees this, he has my support. He has everybody's support.
It has happened, but I'm going to deal with it, and my life will go on.
Kimberly and Mary Burgalis.
The battle against AIDS lost one of its toughest fighters this year. Kimberly Burgalis spent her final days trying to make sure what happened to her doesn't happen to anyone else.
I did nothing wrong, yet I'm being made to suffer like this. My life has been taken away. Please enact legislation so that no other patient or health care provider will have to go through the hell that I have.
She lost her fight on Capitol Hill, but she won the hearts of the nation.
I see someone who is almost wearing a halo. It's a religious feeling to walk into that room and see the most beautiful blue eyes in the whole wide world.
How she and 4 others got the virus from their dentist remains a medical mystery.
You're beautiful, though, and I love you. You rest easy, okay? Yeah, and I'll see you real soon.
While Kimberly's death touched a chord in all of us, there were other tragedies this year that made us stop and realize just how fragile life is.
Killeen, Texas, the nation's deadliest shooting rampage. 23 murdered in a cafeteria. The gunman then killed himself.
Ridgewood, New Jersey, an ex-postal worker kills his former supervisor and 3 others.
Royal Oak, Michigan, a fired postal employee kills 4 people, then shoots himself.
Yeah, we knew it was coming.
Iowa City, Iowa. A graduate student goes on a killing spree after being passed over for an award. He killed 5 people and himself.
Miami, a fired employee at Alamo Rent-A-Car gets revenge by gunning down 2 managers.
Philadelphia, a plane collides with a helicopter, 6 killed, including Senator John Hines and 2 kids playing in a schoolyard.
Miami, a loose tire flies off a truck and slams into a school bus. 2 kids and a teacher are killed.
Camden, South Carolina, 7 killed when a Miami to New York train crashed.
Los Angeles, 34 people killed when a U.S. airjet lands on top of a small commuter plane.
Miami Springs, 2 kids run down in their schoolyard as a car careens out of control.
Hamlet, North Carolina, 25 people killed when a fiery explosion rips through a chicken processing plant.
Central Florida, 50 churches damaged or destroyed by fire. Investigators aren't sure if the fires are the work of one arsonist.
Miami Springs, a routine traffic stop ends in death for Miami Springs police officer Charles Stafford, the suspect caught in California.
Coalinga, California, the nation's worst car crash. Drivers blinded by a dust storm ran into one another. 17 people are killed, 150 others injured.
Oakland, California. For 2 days, fires raged through the hills of Oakland. 24 people were killed, more than 2,300 houses destroyed.
There's no reason to ask that any of the body parts remain and that they should be released to the families.
Milwaukee, a grisly discovery, worse than any horror movie. Jeffrey Dahmer confesses to killing 17 victims and even eating some of them.
And who's the biggest coward of the year? The captain of a Greek liner in distress who abandoned ship before his passengers did. He said his job ended after he told them the boat was doomed. Nice guy, huh?
Talk about a crummy welcome. Thousands of Haitians risk life and limb to come to South Florida, only to be turned away. Hawaii has hula girls. Miami has smash and grab robbers.
It happens all the time.
Tourists in rental cars find out the hard way why the rules are different here.
Wasn't my fault.
A love fest turned slug fest for Beverly Hills star Luke Perry. Adoring fans mobbed him at the Plantation Mall. Luke hightailed it back home to Hollywood.
I'm very sorry.
And poor Imelda Marcos returns home to the Philippines only to be treated like a common criminal. And the best welcome. A royal welcome for Queen Elizabeth. Oh, sure, there were some minor oversights, but all in all, a jolly good visit. Rafts, inner tubes, even a MiG fighter jet. Thousands of Cubans make the flight to freedom, and they were welcomed with open arms. Even Cuban baseball star Rene Arocha threw Castro a curve when he decided to stay here. And what a welcome for the heroes of the Persian Gulf War.
This year's Trials and Tribulations. Hialeah Mayor Raul Martinez convicted of taking kickbacks.
I am innocent of all the charges, and I will continue to prove my innocence in the near future.
Miami Beach Mayor Alex Dowd accused of taking bribes.
I've been charged with everything except causing Pearl Harbor.
Operation Courtroom. Dade judges swept up on charges of selling their influence. From Panama to Miami, Manuel Noriega being tried on drug charges. Danny Rawling indicted for the murders of 5 college students. The pom-pom mom plotted murder to get her daughter on the cheerleading squad. Pamela Smart convinced her teenage lover to kill her husband. Bobby Finier, church babysitter, acquitted of molesting kids. Boxing champ Mike Tyson charged with rape.
I was totally unaware of everything, and that's the God's honest truth. Whether anybody believes me or not, that is the truth.
And a Miramar grandmother accused of selling Playboy to boys. TV preacher Jimmy Swaggart guilty of spreading lies about another preacher's sex life.
I've gone beyond shock.
And to make matters worse, he gets caught for the second time with a prostitute. Coming up next, the fame and shame of 91.
And some of the people lucky to see 92.
Merv Griffin here, and I'm inviting you to come with me to Atlantic City for New Year's Eve and a very special party. Big band, a lot of folks dancing out there, a lot of good times. And guest stars, the Temptations will be with me. Tony Tennille, Clint Holmes. It'll be a night to remember, a New Year's Eve you will love.
Merv Griffin's New Year's Eve special, tonight at 9 on WSVN 7. Charter Hospital of Miami, North Broward Hospital District, Care Florida, Century Village, North Beach Hospital, and Channel 7 host the first annual South Florida Health and Fitness Expo, February 28th through March 1st at the Broward Convention Center. Showcase your products and services and join other healthcare providers and support service experts as they offer an opportunity to learn better methods for maintaining individual healthcare and fitness. Call 795-2789 for more information on the 92 Health and Fitness Expo.
Most kids think medicine has to taste bad, but Dimetap Elixir tastes great, and it's recommended most by pediatricians.
You like Dimetap?
Dimetap and Dimetap DM works as good as it tastes.
Chapstick. From the freezing wind to the scorching sun, Chapstick Lip Balm is serious medicine made to help chapped lips heal fast and healthy lips stay healthy. Whatever the weather, don't take chances, take Chapstick.
On the next Inside Edition, they survived Vietnam, but in the jungles of Hawaii, vets are still living the horrors of war.
Get to where you don't trust human beings at all.
Haunted by images from their past, they live in the hills like animals.
These men, in many cases, are still living a war.
Is there no escape from their pain? Inside the Unknown Soldiers of Hawaii. On the inside, it's a whole different story. Tomorrow at 7 on WSVN 7.
Daniels. Love it. Only on 7 News.
$1991 may go down as the year of sex in the news, and the media, yes, including us, had a field day.
Never before have battles over sex made the headlines night after night and left everyone overexposed.
He said.
This is a circus. It's a national disgrace.
She said.
He talked about pornographic material depicting individuals with large penises or large breasts involved in various sex acts.
He said.
As a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves.
She said.
Thomas told me graphically of his own sexual prowess.
After marathon testimony, what did you say? Poor Pee-wee, overexposed after taking matters into his own hands. Ex-DJs Tanner and McKay, unwanted overexposure. But it took a Kennedy to take Overexposure International this year, as Just Call Me Will asked the world to believe him.
He's even changed his name for this trial.
I wanted to clarify that for everybody. My name is Jerry Rivers.
The overexposure almost pushed Uncle Ted over the edge.
I recognize my own shortcomings, the faults in the conduct of my private life.
Even a potential juror got overexposed for exposing her opinion.
The worst thing with the Kennedys, from what I've read, and I don't know how true it is, that they're very smart, but when they get horny, their penis takes over, the brain closes, and that takes over.
And who was the most overexposed this year? No contest.
And by the way, I am very hot.
I think I know an nymphomaniac when I see her.
Is that something that Ellis conjured up, or do you really have that problem?
I really have it.
There's hundreds of thousands of people throughout this country who either enjoy swinging or mate swapping. Some mate swap, others watch. The tapes were for our own enjoyment.
Come on. Oh, come on.
This year's infamous home videos. Absolutely no home video got more airplay than this tape. Los Angeles cops viciously beating up a suspect.
Stole the himself, knocked him out. Out of one punch, knocked the man out.
In our nation's capital, thugs videotape each other actually beating and robbing their victims.
I would like to meet the man that knocked him out. I want to meet him. Was it you? It was you that knocked him out. I swear to God, you's a hard-headed you's a fine young gentleman.
Fed up with being abused, a gay man in California catches his neighbor in the act.
I thought I was only going to get them calling me names.
And in North Carolina, a tourist home video helps cops catch a rape suspect. What do you look like, ma'am?
I don't know. I really got into something here. This is a hot pursuit of somebody that's done something, and I don't know what.
And X-rated home videos. That's right, homemade sex tape. And some couples even sell in stores.
At first, it scared me to death, you know, and then I just kind of relaxed and started going, you know, got about the camera and just started going on with it and everything. And it was great.
Folks lucky to see 92. Explorer Emily Mobley rescued from America's deepest cave in New Mexico. She spent 4 days underground after breaking her leg.
It was made a lot more of a big deal than it was.
Mobley's one request, pizza. 3 men and a boy stranded at sea for 4 days near Clearwater.
I'll never go fishing on a boat again unless I go on a cruise.
I looked up and nothing had changed, and I kind of looked down and saw the ground. Got ready to meet me, and I went, well, I said, I'm going to die.
But skydiver Jill Shields miraculously lived after a 2-mile free fall. She hit the ground going 100 miles an hour.
The life raft was continually deteriorating day after day after day. I mean, after the first 5 minutes, we had no food, no roof.
Sharks, Hurricane Bob, and no food. But a pregnant woman and her 2 companions survived after drifting in the Atlantic for 10 days. There were 5 people on board when their plane went down in the Atlantic. 3 lived to tell their incredible story of survival.
You know, I was watching the helicopter and making sure I could signal him and keeping an eye on this tiger shark at the same time. And 2 smaller sharks joined in behind them. Because the first thing I thought about, you know, when he landed, was I was looking around, where's the shark?
I lost two wonderful friends, and I was sad about losing them, and just trying to maintain sanity right now.
Those are just a few of the survivors of 1991. But one of the casualties most certainly had to be the economy. Optimists called it sluggish. Realists called it recession. No matter what you call it, you have to admit that at this time, a lot of people are finding themselves down or out. When we come back, we're going to be saying goodbye
to the year's most unforgettable people.
If you think the 1992 movies on WSVN sound good, wait till you see them.
On the next Matlock, the long arm of the law is broken.
They took my badge and my gun.
When a crook is killed and a cop is blamed.
I didn't do it.
Now Ben defends a defender of the peace.
Joe Peters is going to be convicted of a murder he didn't commit.
And tries to mend a miscarriage of justice.
However it turns out, just get it over with.
There's nowhere to hide.
This subpoena guarantees you the best seat in the house.
On Matlock.
Tomorrow at 4 on WSVN 7.
That you will always have a friend here at Carver High. Congratulations.
Decide what you're gonna do after graduation, Michael.
Yep, I'm gonna go home and make a sandwich.
Well done, Michael.
Hey, how you doing, Mr. G?
I'm fine.
Listen, what are you doing after graduation? I don't know. I think about going home and brushing the teeth and combing the hair. Hey, what's up, girl? We made it.
Hey, I couldn't have gotten through physics without you.
Yeah, well, you're on your own at college.
It's not fair.
That's all right. I'm gonna get a job, you know. I'm gonna start working. I'm gonna save. And I'll be in college in another year or two.
Right.
So, what do you have planned, Mike?
I think I'm gonna go home and make a sandwich. Okay.
Support the United Negro College Fund. A mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Sideline. Hostetler now has 16 feet in. And on 2nd and 8, going deep. It's tipped and it's caught by Lofton, who is taken. No good.
Let's take a look at the Marlins logo.
Free throw the last 2 games. That is it. The USA will go back to the United States with a bronze medal.
Strike 3 and it's over. The Cuban national team, 3-2.
This is an official invitation for the University of Miami to participate in our 1992 postseason football game.
Beretta back, quick, lets it go. Pass is complete. He has it. He's got a touchdown. It's up.
Twins have won it. It's a base hit. It's a 1-0 10-inning victory. The Twins have won it.
1992 just won't be the same without a lot of the people we said goodbye to in 91. We can only be grateful that they left us with so many wonderful memories. It's time to say goodbye to 91 and hello to 92. We hope you enjoyed looking back with us. From the best to the worst, 91 was an incredible year. We hope you have a great time ringing in the new year. Good night.
This is the sand from the liberated beaches of Kuwait.
They're very smart, but when they get horny, their penis takes over. The brain closes, and that takes over.
I think I know an nymphomaniac when I see her.
Is that something that Ellis conjured up, or do you really have that problem?
I really have it.
Come on. Come on.
As a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching.
I'm gonna miss playing, and I will now become a spokesman for the
HIV virus.
Physically, emotionally, I really feel ready to come back, and I'm just very happy that it's reached this moment, because I didn't know if this would ever come.
I feel better than I look. Don't worry, it's okay.
I feel good.
I had known he was going to be so. He was going to, 20 years later, he was going to wind up a slimy talk show host. I never would have even let him in the room.
I've been charged with everything except causing Pearl Harbor.
I'm very, very happy. Excuse me, I'm joking.
$1991, from the best to the worst. Brought to you by your South Florida Honda dealers and by Universal Studios.